Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're doing a video on how to sell more cocktails. Our 5 rules for selling cocktails. These are the rules that we kind of go over before we add a drink to the menu. Sorry it's been a little while since we've done a video. I was in Chicago last week training country club staff on how to make cocktails. And then I came back Wednesday night. Thursday morning had Bombay's Most Imaginative Bartender qualification, so I've been a busy boy, unfortunately. But we will be right back at it this week, so don't worry. The first thing that we ask ourselves of these 5 rules, this is arguably the most important rule, is it good, right? And it seems like a really kind of obvious question to ask and an obvious answer, but there's been a lot of places that I've been where they've had interesting sounding drinks, right? And you taste them and it's really, really disappointing. Or it's kind of discordant with what the description is of the actual cocktail. So the first thing that we ask ourselves is it good? I don't care what the technique is. I don't care what the temperature of the cocktail is sold at is. I don't care how cool the description is. The first thing that we always ask ourselves is it good? If it's not good, we'll rework it until we can make it good. If there's no way we can make it good, then we just forget about it, when we find other uses for the stuff that we've prepared. It's certainly happened to me before where I've had ideas and I felt I executed whatever the syrup is well, and I just couldn't get the flavor to be what I wanted it to be. And when that happens, it sucks, but rather than force my guests to drink my mistake, I find other uses, and it just never sees the light of day. Fortunately for me, that doesn't happen as much as it used to, but it certainly still does happen. So the second thing that we like to think about is it cost effective? If your menu isn't making you money in a restaurant, then you're not running your bar properly. So there are ways that you can get around it being 100% cost effective. Let's say that you have an idea, it's a really cool cocktail, it tastes really good, but it's going to run maybe 20% too expensive. Well, can the rest of your menu subsidize that cocktail? And when I say that, it's always a good idea to have a very low-cost cocktail on your menu. That way it can kind of pad some of the more expensive ingredient-driven or, technique-driven cocktails at the end of the day. So, I've certainly done that before. At any given time, we probably have one drink on our menu that is being subsidized by the rest of the menu. We had one that I really, really, really enjoyed, but it was running in the 30s percent, which is about twice as high as we like to have it. It was Granny Smith apple that we juiced and pasteurized in-house. Sauterne, which is a French wine, super, super tasty dessert wine. I'd never seen a Sauterne cocktail. I'm sure they exist, but I had never personally seen one. Lime oleo, purple basil, and then Humboldt, a little company out of California, Humboldt County, California, their hemp vodka, which is ridiculously good. And the reason we use it is because it tastes like gin, but we can still write vodka on the menu. And it was this fabulous cocktail, super tasty, super interesting. No one had really done anything like it before. To the best of my knowledge, I'd never seen anyone do it. So we allowed some of the cheaper cocktails to subsidize that cocktail. That way we weren't, losing our butts, so to speak, on it. The third thing that we like to think about is, does it look nice? It sounds silly, right? But in the age of Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook and Twitter, and I'm 31, so I don't know all the other ones these days, but it is extremely important to make things that look nice, because before our guests ever take the sip of the cocktail, the first thing that they drink is with their eyes, right? They see the cocktail, and that is a huge part in determining whether or not they're going to eventually enjoy that cocktail. The other aspect of that is, let's say that you have a drink that you garnish with mint or basil on top, right? And you send the drink out, and the mint's a little brown, or the basil's a little bit brown, or the rosemary's kind of looking a little sad. That goes to a table, right? And then what happens? They take a picture of it and put that on Instagram. Now the whole world is seeing that you're garnishing your drinks with brown mint or brown basil, right? The first question in my mind when I see stuff like that is if they're allowing drinks to go out to the public and visually see that the mint is brown, what the hell are they doing behind the scenes in that bar program? So it's extremely, extremely important to always make it look nice. The fourth thing that we like to think about is, does it cater to our audience? This is going to vary depending on, who your audience is, the type of restaurant you work at. Is it a cocktail-driven restaurant? So we have two pretty distinct groups of people that come into our restaurant. We're in Buckhead, which is a kind of affluent neighborhood in Atlanta. So we get tons of hotel people from all over the country. But those hotel people, I'd say 80% of them are business people, right? So we like to think, right, that there's two distinct kind of groups of people that are drinking our drinks. There's the guys who want the old-fashioned Manhattan-esque cocktails. And then, there's the people that like the kind of citrus-driven, brighter, pink, purples, all that stuff. So it's important for us to have both of those things on our menu at any given time. And it's important to think about who's going to be drinking them, right? If the first drink that Susan drinks when she comes in on Friday night is a Cosmo, and you try to sell her our play on a Vieux Carré, then that's just you being stupid, right? Like, she might enjoy that cocktail, but the chances of that are pretty slim. So we like to have drinks that Susan can identify with visually and flavor-wise, so that we can send her out a drink that is bright pink or bright green or what have you, that's citrus-driven, a lot like a Cosmo. But the flavors might be a little bit different than what she's expecting, but it's still enjoyable to her. And then on the same side of that coin, Steven comes in Friday night, and the first thing Steven orders is Makers on the Rocks or Makers and Coke, right? Would it be smart for me to sell him a bright pink vodka-based cocktail? Probably not. Regardless of what that drink might taste like, Steven's probably not going to enjoy it, because I'm sure that the people that Steven is with are going to give him shit about him drinking a bright pink cocktail with an edible orchid on the side of it or whatever. So one of the sayings that I've kind of developed over the years thinking about selling cocktails is that, for every person that comes in the restaurant, we will have a drink. But not every drink that's on our menu is going to be for every person. So knowing that, it makes it a lot easier to develop a set of cocktails that kind of encompass every drinking style and every drinking category. So that's something that we like to think about as well. And then the fifth thing that we like to think about is, does it read well? When you're actually reading the menu, is it a bunch of, kind of esoteric, weird ingredients that no one's really heard of? Me personally, I've been out before. I've been doing this for 13 years now. Wow, I'm old. And I still go out and I still go to places and read their menu, and I don't know what 40% of the ingredients are. And that's not to say that I know all ingredients and I have this all-encompassing knowledge, but if I've been doing this in this industry for as long as I have and there's still ingredients that I'm not familiar with, maybe that's not the smartest thing to do. If the goal at the end of the day is to sell cocktails, then maybe we should make the cocktails with ingredients that people are familiar with. I mean, that's just... For example, we have a drink. It's the Tiki Tuesday. We've posted it before, and we can leave a link down in the description for that as well, where the pineapple has been really gently smoked, and then we steep it with black pepper, and then after the black pepper, we puree it, and then we strain that out, add jalapeno powder to it. That could be this really long, involved description, but instead, right, we want to limit it so it just says charred and peppered pineapple. Right? That encompasses everything that we've done to that pineapple, but in a clear and concise manner, and also in a manner that, you as the guest can read and you can identify with. So I think a big mistake that a lot of people make is they forget that they're not making cocktails for themselves. They're not making cocktails for other bartenders. Maybe here and there other bartenders will come in, and that's well. And we are making cocktails for the people that come into our restaurant. So If you guys have any questions about any of our kind of categories, any of our questions we ask ourselves, please leave those down below. Don't forget to give us a big thumbs up. Please do subscribe, and if you do have any rules for your bar, please leave those down below as well.